Hey, this is episode 3 now of Unboxable. Got James back, of course, and I got myself, Roman. I'm co-host. Co-host. Neither one of us is the main host. We'll say that.
Uh, quick
So,
everything, bro. We none of us are really the main host. You know what I'm
so
saying?
what's up with the publishing offer?
Yeah, nah. Obviously, you lot heard I wrote a book, and it is what it is, and I've received an offer to get it published. We'll have to see. Obviously, there's probably going to be more offers to come. They get put on the table. To us, I'm not even thinking about it. It's not even a big deal. Obviously, we know who we are. We got faith in what we do and how shit's gonna happen, how shit's gonna play out. So what will be. And what's meant to be will be. So keep tuned. Obviously, you'll be hearing more about it. Might not even be from my mouth, might be from other channels, from other places. So yeah, stay tuned for that.
Would you right now take a 360 on your book and sell all your stuff, or are you hesitant to do that?
Yeah, so obviously we were speaking about this off camera, and there's different ways to publish your book. And obviously people know about this sort of deal from the music industry mainly because you hear a lot about it. So what you can do, so say for instance you got a book or you got an album, you got some songs or whatever, you can get an advance on that, so you can get an upfront payment. And what you basically do is sell most of your rights. So it's called a 360 deal. So you get an advance, and then they get basically all the rights to whatever you produce, and basically to you as well. They can decide where you got to be at what time, like what you need to do, what you need to, all this sort of stuff. So it gets to the point where it's like, yeah, you need to eat, you ain't got money, this, that, the other, but are you really gonna sell yourself, sell your soul for that advance? You know what I'm saying? And it's just not something that I'll be interested in doing, bro. Got to keep it real. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, you
fuck.
get paid, but like that's not even an option. Like, not
Yeah,
even.
fuck the phone bill. Fuck the phone bill.
Yeah,
But pretty
that shit's still running. I don't paid it, it's still
hey,
running.
nah, inside joke. But
Anyway.
uh, what do you think with Israel, Hamas, civil war looming in the USA?
Yeah,
What
I
do you
mean,
feel about?
I haven't even been thinking about it, to be honest. I mean, it's one of those ones where it's almost lost a bit of traction. Like, when you're hearing it all over the news every day, and then before you know it, it's not. And then before they might bring it back in again, or this, that, the other. It's like the Ukraine war. It's all over the news, and before you know it, it's almost just like it's just gone. I haven't been thinking about. I don't know what's happening. And to be honest, bro, like last time I checked, like war is war. Like you either try to take somebody's soul, try and take them out, or you ain't at war. Like these are talking ceasefire here, and we're gonna do this there. It's like no, you're at war. Or you're not at war. Like someone should be buried in the fucking rubble by now. Like if you're really at war, shit's a whole fucking little storyline, little fucking waste of time storyline. Fucking get it out of mind, out of sight, out of mind. As far as I'm concerned. But I don't know. I don't know much about what's going on in the States, bro. I'm gonna keep it real. Like, what sort of stuff have you got looming there, like tension building or whatever?
Yeah, they're beta testing which war between which countries would be the best selling pay-per-view. So the Ukraine versus Russia pay-per-view, that shit tanked. It was all right, the pre-sales were good, but
Yeah,
yeah, basically is they're not finding a good
the
pay-per-view
prelims.
to
No, that's the
sell.
prelims, bro. That's the prelims. I ain't about to play.
Yeah, I hope these ain't the prelims. This is a shitty ass card, dog. World War II was cooler.
Dude, that shit ain't even on the fight pass for free. What are these all talking about? We pay for that bullshit.
Yeah, dude, I'm streaming this illegally, bro. Come on, fuck off.
Dude, they didn't even get nah, bro. To keep it real though, like if we're talking about it on terms of pay-per-views and clicks, like the biggest place that does that is the United States. So, if there's going to be something going on, they need click, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be somewhere external to where that all that shit's going on. Unless you said civil war going on in the USA, you think there's going to be something starting over there soon, or which has been building up.
I th I'm not sure. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna predict anything. I think there's civil wars that go on all the time.
For
You know
sure.
what I mean? In different countries, there's civil wars all the time. The Kosovo Wars in Albania was a civil war. The U.S. has had a civil war. I think the civil war in the U.S. though was not fought to free black people. That's what the narrative kind of is pushed to be, but that's not what happened or why it happened is a better way to say it.
Mm, yeah, you can say
I
that for a
think
lot of things as well. But yeah, go on.
I just think there's other motives and there's documentation to prove so, but if, either way, I think a new civil war would be cooler. Let's just say like right now with technology and like tanks, how they are, and the war we could have right now would be some crazy ass shit. Think about it. Think about the war, the evolution of wars, and
Mm.
like how, you know what I mean? Like right now, the war, I think the pay-per-view would be hot.
Who's what, bro? Last time I checked, there's been a war that's raging on outside, bro. There's been a war that's raging, and obviously you say how warfare has developed. Like a lot of the warfare now that goes on, it ain't even being fought in the streets with guns and weapons, and you know that shit's mental warfare, bro. That shit is a spiritual warfare. That's a MK Ultra mind control propaganda warfare, which has been going on for a while. And at this time, it's going to be global. It's like you can focus on these little wars that are going on here and the shit they're showing you. This is a global war, and there's only two sides. It's the good and the evil. There's literally two sides. It's God and devil. That is the two sides. That's the real war that's going on right now. And despite anything that they'll try and get you to think about, that is it. It's like just not focusing on the real issues. Like, but at the same time, it's like shit. If this shit did pop off, bro, like man, that shit would be wild. Like craziest war ever for sure. Like for sure.
It's either like it can't pop off now because it'd be so fucking insane that it'd be just cataclysmic to the earth,
Yeah.
or that it is popping off, but it's like just we know about silent wars, but it's like probably a totally different way that wars are going on now. You know what I mean? Because we could each just send 10 nukes to different continents and just wipe everyone and let them wipe us off the planet in the meantime, you know. But
The risk involved in it as well. Like it's like you could just drop one of them, or like imagine just like shit was going south and everyone's like, nah, fuck this. Like imagine somewhere was getting invaded or some shit. Like say they were losing or some shit. They're like, fuck this, but get the nukes out. Bah, bah, bah. Like that, like the risks involved are just so heavy. It's like almost like they don't want it to get to that, but at the same time, like it just will get to that. Like those things exist for a reason. Like they were needed or they were believed to be needed or whatever reason they said they were going to be needed or whatever. So like they exist, and I don't see a situation in which, I mean, we'll see what happens, bro. We don't know, but say like we just gone into 2024, right? So we've got a new year going on. Um, have you got any resolutions, any predictions, anything you think might play out in the year that we got to come? Anything that you're sort of seeing happening underneath the background, the sort of social movements and things that you can sort of like get a gauge of and see what they might progress into over the year?
good topic transition there. I would say I don't do New Year's resolutions. Mainly because the best time I think to start a new goal and to spring up into something and flourish is in the springtime. I don't think in the dead cold middle of winter, it's
Mm,
a good time like to be starting new goals. And I've always found that when I've been able to like do something that I put my mind to, whether it's like, oh, quit like smoking weed for this period of time or whatever, like it's always like the most achievable. And honestly, it's easy. I can do it every time, like around that spring
spring.
section, you know. Yeah, that's when I could like start new goals with success as well as make old habits die, you know, because sometimes someone's new goal isn't nothing to work towards, it's just something to quit. And
It,
that's fucking weird.
that it isn't always most people New Year's resolutions. I'm going to stop this, or it's like it's if even if it's I'm going to start this, it's like I'm going to start going to the gym. So it's basically like the two types of resolutions are this. I'm going to start being healthy as I should just be anyway, or I'm going to stop doing things which negatively impact me, which I should just do anyway. That's pretty much it. I'm going to stop eating chocolate. I'm going to stop smoking. I'm going to stop eating this food, or I'm going to start being healthy. Just like shit, like and it's also the fact that it's like people wait for an excuse or some like external reason outside of their own judgment and decision making and their own power to act and to do things. And they wait until this once, like in a year, like, and it's the worst time of year to do it. You're right. It's like you ain't. It's not like you got shit to do. Like shit's cold as fuck. It's dark all the time. It's like worst possible time to be fucking like trying to do something other than that. You know what I'm saying? So it's also true you said about like the spring as well, and like obviously you got the fall on the opposite side. It's like those things aren't a joke. Like the reason that things are called that and the names, even the seasons and the cycles are like we exist within them as well. And when you spring it, you know, when the springtime comes, you know, we're a part of that as well. And there's different energies and forces and obviously working, which is cool.
Yeah, it just depends on who you are as well as a person. I mean, I don't think everyone's the same as me, but I like to think I'm in tune with the earth, and that's just I'm springing up during spring, I'm getting going. Summer, I'm good. I'm buzzing. In winter, you come down a little bit, you store some energy, That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Nothing new.
You're in tune. It's like you've got to be in tune. It's like frequency, right? So you got to be in tune, or you got to be in the on singing on the same frequency, or being on the same frequency, and also playing the same notes. It's like you're in tune with what's going on. And a lot of things. Obviously, I remember we spoke before about frequencies. I think, and it's like say there's like different hertz or whatever it comes throughout, and we're saying like this can do this, and you get healing or whatever, and it's like a lot of those frequencies that you think you're consuming through your phone. Like I'll tell you this, like just from a fact, without even looking into it, like that phone or whatever speaker, whatever you think you're getting this frequency from, is not giving you that frequency. It's like null and void. It's like the real sound, the real energy, like is coming from like a real life situation. Like coming through this little speaker on your phone is not giving you that. You need people playing the drums, like sitting next to you. It's like we were speaking the other day, and you showed me like something where it's like I don't know who needs to hear this, but people need to start dancing and reading and writing and painting and stuff like that. It's like all the real, all like the like in the reality like of things, like actually doing stuff in the real has become mediated and almost like put on and through something else into a different medium, and it just takes away all of like the natural and the sort of like the positive elements of it. And obviously that's for good reason. I've got someone next to me living next to me in my flat, just like blaring out their TV all day. It's like just get home. It's like, fuck.
A little bit of TV mindlessness once in a while, reset.
Yeah, but it's like why the fact that you need to do that. It's only when life is so shit and when life is so bad and when things are so rubbish, could you ever possibly need to just sit down and zone out? So we're talking about tuning in. Meanwhile, we got everyone zoning out.
No, they're tuning in. It's just not to what we're tuning into, dog. They're tuning into fucking Cartoon Network and Fox News and CNN, which I
Yeah.
give a fuck about.
Fuck that.
But I still don't blame people, if you just imagine your ancestors worked so hard, so fucking hard every day, man, just slaved away for you to be able to chill, and you get into a place where you could just pay a flat fee, work a little bit, chill, eat. You have everything you need, but you're just like, oh, this is bullshit. But your ancestors like, bro, we had to build shelter. We didn't know what fire was. What the fuck is wrong with you, dog? Like, we used to have to harvest the food. We didn't know if we was gonna make it through the winter. Now you just have a fucking king crab imported to you from fucking Alaska. Fuck off, dude. You're a dickhead.
Yeah, nah, you're right. But at the same time, it's like there's something going on in the UK at the moment. It's called in like in the news and the media, they like giving things fancy names and things that ring off the tongue. So it's called a cost of living crisis, all right? Cost of living crisis. Okay. So we're talking about like you can just get these things or whatever or what. So you can't like say you just want like say a king crab or what you're saying, or
Is this like a living subsidy, like a government welfare program you're talking about?
no, what we're talking about is like essentially I've seen news articles about it, is they label it as like economic downturn. So obviously like economic fucking people haven't got like the prices are going up, No one's got money. It's like it's cost of living crisis. Like you can't afford to live. Basically, what they're saying. So it's one of those ones where it's like all the. Okay, I'll explain it like this, and this is the most simple way I can say it. And if you don't see anything wrong with this, then I don't know what else we can say. There's no but no matter how you understand how this has happened. So whether you see it how it should be seen as all this cost of living, you can't afford anything and shit's going south. Obviously that's being done on purpose. Okay. But even if you believe that this is just random and there's been factors and there's been wars and whatever, blah, 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 that's made this happen, fine. But there should be no possible outcome or circumstances where it's allowed to happen, where people cannot get the basic necessities of shelter, good food, and the things they need to survive. Like that, it's being allowed to happen. I was at work today, right? Fucking working a slave labor job. And I heard on the news, bro. They said there was like the chief police officer come out. He said there's been an intake in crime, in theft, and he said just because like you can't afford to get these things doesn't excuse stealing them. It's like, hold on, bro. What do you want me to do? Like, I can't afford this shit. You want me to just die? Like, what do you think people are gonna do? Like, people are getting
Like
pissed.
stealing what though? Like are they stealing fucking TVs from Target or are they stealing like nutritional packs from a store for food for them and their kids? I don't know about that, dude, because there's two sides to that. Well, there's way more than two, but you see a lot of people running in there and they're coming out with the fucking Samsung Smart TV, and then other people are fucking still like Similac for their kids, you know. So I don't.
Yeah, but even that Samsung Smart TV, like you think they're just like putting that in the crib, they're selling that so they can go and get food or be able to pay their rent or some shit. It's like I just don't see any set of circumstances where it should or could be the case where it's allowed, where you cannot, especially when you're providing and working in society, like contributing towards it, you know, being a generally decent person and actually working where you can't actually afford to put a roof over your head, feed yourself and feed your family regardless of what they call it, it's like a cost of living crisis or whatever. It's like it's made that way. It doesn't have to be
Well,
that way.
one thing what I was thinking about recently, think about not having to pass a law raising minimum wage because you can just manipulate economically inflation and these different pieces to your own means. So what if you can just kind of fuck with the economic dial a bit by like inserting more inflation to really bring down the median like level wage earners, and you
That,
don't even have to do it through laws or other things like that.
that's exactly what's happened, and that's what people don't understand. It's like, but you know what they'll do as well. So this is why we say it's mental warfare, and it's such a psychological trick. They'll do all that shit, make it seem like it's outside of their hands. Like, oh, this war here is affecting this, or this here is affecting that, X, Y, Z. Give you reasons for it, right? They give you reasons why things are becoming more expensive. They give you reasons, logical reasons based on what's happening. So this is more expensive, this, that, and the other. And then the fucking cheek they have to fucking spit on your face and make you think shit's sweet is they'll raise the minimum wage by about 0.1% and make you think that shit's rising. Meanwhile, they're skyrocketing everything else. It's like they psychologically trick you into think you're getting like shit. Yeah, we're doing the best we can, buddy. Like we're raising the wage, man. Prices are going up. It's out of our control. It's like exactly how you conceptualize it is right. And when we realize things like this, you're like, hold on a sec. What if you had the goal of fucking people over? How would you get away with it? Couldn't you just find a way where you could do this and do that? And you literally hit the nail on the head. And that's exactly what's happening.
If I had half the money that they got through taxes in 6 months, it would be way different, dude.
But it
That's
corrupts people, bro.
that's not me being egotistical, I don't think at all. I think that's me believing in myself as well as understanding they're just fucking everyone over, dude. How much money do we give in taxes? We pay taxes in our paycheck and then pay more taxes and taxes and taxes. You have to pay taxes if you give someone money.
It's
So
retarded.
like it's so micro transaction tax now, everything, dude. I'm gonna have to fucking give a penny to the government if I find a nickel on the ground in the future. A fucking camera's gonna see me swoop a fucking nickel off the ground in the fucking Walmart parking lot, and it's gonna be like, bruh, it's gonna fucking send me a penny fucking IRS statement. Be like, bro, we need that, bruh.
I tell you what, but that's a bit that that is actually a bit like that's probably not going to happen because you know what I'm saying. It's not true to reality. Because I'll tell you what, you won't be picking up a nickel off the floor because there ain't going to be nickels. You ain't going to be finding fucking digital currency on the fucking floor, motherfucker. Adding fucking 0.001 onto your fucking little drawing on your fucking bank account screen.
Hey, someone might drop a flash drive.
Yeah, but even that shit, like, it just makes it so much easier. Like, if you can, if like you, if you want the ability to control things, like being able to access everything and see everything on an actual database where you can just pull up. You got everyone's bank out how much. Like, if everyone just got money, you don't know what I've got fucking under my mattress. You don't know what this is here, where this is, or what it is. So you can just catch straight up and then you can control what it is. Like it's the same thing in China. It's like you can't go here in these credits and you can't spend it. It's like dog. Like so people are starting to realize it, and it's just one of those ones where I don't. As I say, we don't blame people or whatever. It's just the only thing that annoys me more than anything is that people realize it and they're not willing to acknowledge it or at least like support people that are trying to fight it. That's all it is. And at the same time, it's like, yeah, not everyone has it within them to do that or to acknowledge it, to understand it, to try and figure it out and do something about it. But the people that are, it's like we need support, bro, from the people.
Acknowledging acknowledging you're in a war is like the first step, and I don't think people can get past that. Like a war is the best way to put it. And the acknowledgement of that removes your peace in a way. It also creates a burden of you need to do something now.
Mm.
And I think people are just like to live lush, don't have that in the back of their head. They don't want to have to worry about doing things. They want to chill. They don't want to say someone's conspiring against them in any way or acknowledge the fact that throughout history, 24/7, till date, that we can remember, people were at war fighting each other and the world's at constant war. Besides, well, there's certain things in the Akashic record, of course, you could access about Atlantis being full free energy and peaceful and blah, blah, blah. I'm not gonna uh get us in too much trouble on the airwaves. Uh,
No,
but either way, a history of war and these lower vibrations is evident through record, written record, not Akashic, not something you have to access in a metaphysical, telepathic, remote viewing, astral projection state. But another thing that we got to focus on is not going to the park and bullshitting, not going and fucking bullshitting 3 days off. We gotta just not, we gotta, for this 2024, we gotta not bullshit,
yeah,
you
man.
know?
But
I think bullshitting is gonna get nothing but bullshit. And I think doing things meticulously calculated and the right way will produce beautiful, architecturally pleasing aesthetic results, which is better than just bullshit thrown together mess. And that's through anything.
I completely agree with you. I mean, if you want to achieve a goal, what's the best way to go about it? Work diligently at it, doing the right things. It's like, you hear a lot of people say, perfection is lots of little things done well. And if you want to achieve a goal and it's a grand goal and it's a noble goal and it's a big goal and you got big sights and you want to achieve big things, it's done in little steps and yeah, and each step you take, you got to make sure it's correct. And each day that you wait, you got to make sure things are right. And yeah, to whoever it needs to be, who needs to hear those things, look yourself in the mirror, motherfucker. Because I've been looking at myself in mine, and shit needs changing, dog.
Yeah, I think everyone could undergo a good change, you know. I think drugs are bad, any drugs are bad. I think alcohol is bad, caffeine is bad. I think anything you have to rely on is bad. Like if you can't go a day without it and it's like you can't go without thinking about it. It's bad. Like food may be an exception. Even then, you should have enough discipline to be able to go a day without thinking of food, honestly. That's crazy to people, but sometimes I go till 6 p.m. and I don't even think about eating until I'm like, oh shit, I gotta eat. And it's more of a discipline thing, rather than
And like a lifestyle, like yeah, because it's like if it enters your mind and you have to fight it, like the goal is not to you shouldn't the goal is not to have to fight it, right? The goal is like of like or discipline or like gaining momentum attractions. You shouldn't have to be fighting anything. It shouldn't even be entering your mind. So obviously, if you're having to fight it, it means that there's the problem there, and that's you're talking about the internal war in yourself. It's like forget about any external power struggle that's going on in the world. Like every day, you're seeing people, they're looking at you, you're jostling with them, you're competing with them. This person trying to fuck you over on this thing, and this person trying to do this. That's external. Let alone that, you got a whole fucking internal fucking power struggle going on in your own mind. But then it's like one of those ones we're saying it's like, why would you confront these things when you could just go and do your job and zone out doing that and then go home instead of confronting those problems, just sit on the couch, watch some TV, forget about it, eat some nice food. It's like,
well, why would you?
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
No,
Why?
well, why would you? Like, what's the reason you do it?
Honestly, like I had this thought the other day, and I feel really oppressed. Not like I don't want to say like oppressed in like, oh, I'm oppressed, but like the way that shit is like it's completely opposite for my flourishing and for me to be living a good life and for me to be living how I want to live. And maybe some other people don't feel as hard done by or feel like they're being targeted or like, put in a cage and put back like and it's holding you back. Maybe some people don't feel as badly that that's happening to them. And I think part of the reason why I have confronted things and chosen to do it and taken on the pain and suffering of doing so, because let's not forget that's a big reason why people don't do it. It's voluntary pain and suffering to fucking try and understand the shit that's going on within you in the world, trying to take it on board, take responsibility, soak it in, and then try and like communicate it as well, like get the words out there, make sense of it. But the only reason I if I put it down to anything, that's just who I am. Like that's just what I do. But at the same time, if I look at it in a different space, it's like I feel so strongly that it's so wrong that that's part of being a man. I feel, especially from my life, is like you have to take responsibility for these things, and it's there's not much of a bigger responsibility than you can take than try and fucking figure in the bullshit that's fucking going on out and trying to sort it out or at least do something about it. Like, geez.
Yeah, a lot more doing than sorting out. I don't think anyone's gonna ever understand the full universe 100% and its inner workings and intricacies because we're not a super quantum computer, we're not God, we're not whatever. We're just a human, but you can understand enough to where you're 100% doing and 75% knowing is enough for your 100% doing to suffice.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. There's a band in the UK called Oasis, and I listened to it. They actually got really like people don't realize it, but they got really like really in-depth lyrics and the sort of thing you just said there. One of their songs is like maybe like I don't really want to know how your garden grows because I just want to play. So it's such a deep thing where it's like you become superficial because you're so smart. It's like I don't want to know how the garden grows. Like I just want to play. It's like yeah, we don't need to know. There's like you don't need to know loads of stuff. We're not just like some species or some sort of like people who just our only main value or thing is just let's figure out how this. It's like yeah, okay, we do that, but we need to have fun. It's like you can get so lost in trying to figure shit out. You don't have fun. You don't play. Like you don't want to know how the garden grows. Like I just want to play. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's
Oh, yeah.
doing action, living life, but everything today is made. It's not made, or it just caters towards inactivity and passivity.
Yeah, I love learning things through music because I love music as as a medium, you know, and there's nothing better to me. Music, poems, things of that nature, especially learning. That's why I think conscious hip hop is so important, and conscious rap, music, just all of it. I think everyone needs to have that like on half or mainly their full rotation of music so you don't intake too much poison. You
But
know,
it's what it is though. It's like you consume it, and it what music you consume is like, it's what you're listening to. And the fact that there's even become a subgenre called conscious rap, it shows that shit's gone so far to the fact it was like there should be nothing called conscious rap. That just is what rap is. Like there shouldn't be something called woke rap or like this rap or conscious rap. It's like it only becomes a subgenre called conscious or woke rap when everything else is not rap. That shit's crap. That's literally just like I done a bit and I went whenever it's a bit. It's like literally
it's
what.
something, bro. It's something.
But it's
I'm not a fan of it. There's some of it I'll listen to. I'm not a big fan of it. I don't like fucking little pump and shit. Definitely not. I would knock that motherfucker out.
with your left fucking toe.
I
You
wouldn't anyone signed to Leor Cohen or that signed to this agenda or the prisons, I would literally knock you the fuck out, bro. I'm just gonna put that out there right now. I'd knock you the fuck out.
doesn't matter. The thing is that's and we're saying that I'm not even on level. Don't matter how big you are, what you look like, what you've been doing. It's things we're so strongly against the things that they stand for. It doesn't matter who you are, what you're getting knocked the fuck out. Like what we're fighting for, bro. It's like there's like the power and the force that comes with that, and what it turns you into, and how strongly you feel about it. It's like you can stand for that opposite side, but we're and like she ain't turning out well for you, bro. You're getting knocked out. That shit straight up. That shit straight up comes from the heart. That shit straight up comes from the heart.
Yeah, it gets to a point to where you're fighting your own people, but they're not in the field. They're in the house.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like you need to gain people, and you want to speak to people, and it's like you can't just speak to people anymore. And I've said this. It's like even like we made some of these, and I would like watch a few of them back, and I noticed I'm not even looking like at the camera. And I was trying to think about doing it. It's like, when you're speaking to someone, if I was speaking to you, I'll be looking in your eyes, like we'll be communicating, doing that. And we're coming to people through such like a unnatural and such like it's just detached entirely to the point where even something as simple as like when I'm talking, looking at this, I don't even know where the camera is, bro. Like I'm trying to look at the top of my screen, like, what the fuck is that bullshit, bro? Like trying to look like if I'm speaking to someone that's listening to this and I'm trying to look into the camera so as if I'm looking into their eyes. It's like it's just the whole thing's weird, but this is what we got to do. We gonna do it, and that's straight up.
Everything's unnatural, but I don't even know if it is unnatural because it might just be a different way and a different process and state of being than the current one that's just a little altered
You
through
know,
its own self. If we're from the earth and we alter the earth, then it's the earth fixing itself, right? Or like changing itself.
yeah, no, I agree with you actually. Maybe unnatural is the wrong word. Inefficient, or maybe like the less effective. Like unnatural makes like listen, whatever nature is, it's like we say it's unnatural, but we've created it and we've done it and it's been done and we're using it. So like, how unnatural can it be if we're just doing it? Like there's part of it where it's like we can do this, we've had the ability to do this, and we've made it, so it's kind of natural. But at the same time, if we're talking about, I mean, the reach using this is far, but in terms of like the effectiveness of communicating something and just the real like interaction, I suppose, is what lacks. But at the same time, that world is gone. And as much as we can wish for fucking just walking out the front door and coming into your symposium with people or whatever it is and just addressing the thing, that's just not how it works. And maybe it will never work like that again. I don't know. Maybe it will. I hope it does, and I wish that it does. And I wish that people would start living in the real world and caring more about the real world than the fake world. But at the same time, why would you care about the real world when what's going on is fucking loads of bullcrap?
Yeah, we can't do a symposium or a lecture for you, but we do have a Fortnite concert. Is that all right?
Yeah,
That's what,
we do it once a fortnight. We do it once a fortnight.
yeah, if you're down for that, then those symposiums are way of the past, you know. And I think we might be able to sling you in like a 15-minute segment on like a commercial on Joe Rogan.
Oh, for real?
I think so. These are the only two mediums we have to reach everybody nowadays. So, uh, yeah. So you could either find us on Joe Rogan, hopefully one day, or a Fortnite concert.
Yeah, that's dude, shit's
It's
fucking
Fortnite concert versus Joe Rogan's the battle of fucking information.
dude, shit's fucking so wild. Honestly, it's one of those ones though where it's like it feels like you're thrown into the world and shit's so wild. It's like what a dream, and like no, when we come to the end of it or whatever happens or what blah blah, we're just like what a dream, what a trip, what a movie where like you're thrown in at this time and everything's like so different, so what's happened before, and you throw it and you're trying to. It's like what a life. It's like what. It's like you can't you think sit back and it's like, and then but you just what it could be and what you could become and what you could do and what how and it's just rather than just becoming passive and wasting your life until you become a fucking vegetable. It's like just become inspired to get up and do something and become something and do something positive or do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, we're gonna come with a couple different topics. We're gonna touch some certain things. Our next podcast that's gonna be coming out here soon, episode 4. This was episode 3 of Unboxable. It was just a freestyle. We just off the top. We didn't have nothing set for this or the last 3, but we're gonna have a couple topics from here on. We had some improv topics, as you could tell. We'll definitely like to do a featured guest and have other people come in here and talk with us and expand that way. Uh, you can find James Parker on your registered sex offender list.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
You
Tarnishing my
can
name like
find
that.
him in the yellow pages. You can find him on the backlist of Craigslist, and you could also find him on the Unboxable podcast. And I'm fucking with you. We don't actually not
Nah.
felons or anything. Like neither of us have any crimes or anything like that. I am a comedian. That's my main thing. I will put that first and foremost. We do a reverse disclaimer. We assume people watch our channels and episodes as one. I'm a comedian, dog, so I don't nothing I said holds, man. I'm a comedian, you know. This is labeled a half comedy, like a lot of our shit's comedy. So I can't nothing that I said can or will be held against me in any court of fucking law.
Dude, in reality, this whole shit's a comedy. Like we just, I say, we've improv the last 3 ones. Just it's more just so you can get to know us, and we're just really chatting. And really, the whole thing's just
It's
we
all comedy. It's all written
the
sketches
whole,
comedy.
the whole thing is a comedy. The entire thing, what's going on in the world that we speak about, what we talk, the whole thing to us is really just a comedy, and that's all it really is, and it's all
Yeah,
it's.
satire. Satire. That's all we do. We're comedians. Well, actually I'm a real comedian too as well. So you could come catch some shows at the Fort Collins Improv as well as Denver Improv. I have some stand-up shows. You could catch James with your underage niece.
I, this is going off. Fuck you, bro. We'll catch you. So.
That's